Before humans learned to write their history, they were already wearing it on their bodies. Long before words had a shape, before language knew how to name things, we were already speaking through objects. We hung symbols from our necks, wrapped our wrists, marked the skin, not to protect ourselves from the cold, not for survival, but to be seen. Because even before speaking, before language existed as we know it, we already wanted to say something. From the moment humans became aware of themselves, they wanted to stand out, to distinguish themselves from others. Even before writing, even before building cities or monuments, we were already placing objects on the body, turning the body itself into a message. Shells, bones, polished stones, seeds, simple materials, taken directly from nature. They were not simple decorations. They were messages. They spoke of who you were, which group you belonged to, what place you held in the world. They could speak of protection, of status, of belonging, or even of which invisible forces were believed to walk beside you. Jewelry was born this way, as a symbol of power, of the sacred, of the eternal. Gold, silver, amber, precious stones, materials that did not decay, that resisted time, that seemed untouched by death. Scarce materials, difficult to work, reserved for very few, because gold did not simply shine, it endured. But where there is desire, there is always ingenuity, and where not everyone can possess the eternal, humans learn to imitate its appearance. Long before plastic existed, costume jewelry already did. Colored glass, ceramics, base metals, enamels, natural resins, materials shaped by human hands to capture light. In ancient Egypt, glass was used to imitate precious stones. In Rome, the middle classes wore necklaces that looked like gold, without being gold. In the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, lesser adornments allowed many to visually approach luxury, to participate in its language, even if only in appearance. Costume jewelry was not a cheap copy, it was a creative solution, a way to belong to the symbolic world of adornment, without owning what made it eternal, because adorning oneself was never just vanity. It was, and still is, identity. For centuries, true jewelry remained expensive, heavy, dense, made to last longer than a lifetime. It was inherited, stored, protected, respected. But the world began to accelerate. Time itself seemed to move faster. The Industrial Revolution transformed everything: production, fashion, the rhythm of life, and adornment as well. Costume jewelry began to be mass-produced. It became cheaper, more accessible. It moved closer to the hands and the lives of many. And then plastic arrived. At the beginning of the 20th century, a revolutionary material appeared. Lightweight, moldable, colorful, inexpensive. For the first time, necklaces were no longer heavy. Earrings demanded no sacrifice. Colors no longer depended on rare stones or distant lands. Plastic allowed creation without limits. And something entirely new as well. No promise of eternity. In the 1920s, costume jewelry became modern. In the 1950s, elegant. In the 1960s, exaggerated, pop, visible. It no longer tried to imitate fine jewelry. It no longer wanted to be gold. It was something else. Thanks to plastic, costume jewelry stopped being a substitute and became a language of its own. For the first time, anyone could change style every day. One necklace for work, another for the night, another simply because it felt right. Adornment stopped being eternal and became emotional, momentary, personal. Today, everything coexists. Cheap pieces, inherited jewels, handmade costume jewelry, designer creations. Because value no longer lives only in the material. It lives in what it expresses, in what it says about us. And we keep adorning ourselves. For the same reason. Our ancestors once hung shells around their necks to say who we are, without speaking. Perhaps plastic jewelry is not eternal, but neither are we. And still, we keep searching for something that allows us to shine.